will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord, the Most High, do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. So Ruth is basically saying, through death do us part. And so anything that's going to part us is death. That's what she's telling Naomi. That wherever you're going, bang on you and I'm coming with you, Naomi. Jump down to verse 21. I went out full, and the Lord has brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing that the Most High has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley harvest. So they both returned back to Bethlehem, which is in Judah, Jerusalem, and that's where they returned. So Ruth, the Moabite, and Naomi, the Israelite, two women, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. So Naomi had a kinsman, which is, when this is a kinsman, that means someone that's part of your family line, yeah, who was related to her husband, who was a wealthy man, who she came back to, yeah, and Ruth with her. Now, okay, so now we're going to jump down to verse 8, chapter 2, verse 8. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. So Boaz is saying to Ruth, you can stay in my fields and you can work and you'll be okay and you'll be looked after and you can glean the corns there and reap the harvest there. Okay? So now we're going to jump down to verse 22. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of the barley harvest and of the wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. So she dwelt there during the harvest, she lived with her mother-in-law, but she worked in Boaz's fields, and Boaz was helping looking after the family as well because he was related to them. He was a kinsman to her husband. Yeah? So now we're going to jump to chapter 4. We're going to start at verse 1, chapter 4. Then went Boaz up to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, how such a one turn aside? Sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land which was our brother Elimelech's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know, for there is none to redeem it besides thee. And I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. So what Boaz is saying is that you're the elders, that you get first refusal. But if you refuse to buy Elimelech's land, which was Naomi's husband who died in the land of Moab, if you don't want to buy his land, then he'll take it. But you get first refusal. That's why it's called the elders. And the kinsman said, this is verse 6, chapter 4, within the book of Ruth. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, I cannot redeem it. Now this was the manner in former times in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbour, and this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have brought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's of the hands of Naomi, because everything gets passed down to the sons. So that's why even though Naomi took ownership of it, it was her sons and her husbands who had passed away. Yeah? So now Boaz is buying this plot of land that they owned. Moreover, Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, who passed away in the land of Moab, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of this place. Ye are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, We are witnesses. The Most High make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel, and do thou worthily in Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. And let the house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. So, can you see what we're talking about back in the times of Judah, when his sons and Onan had passed away, and he was meant to give his third son Shelah to Tamar, their wife, and because Tamar was young, Judah held him off a bit when he should have passed him over straight away. And then what did Judah do? He went, and while he was mourning his sons, he went away and he ran into Tamar again, and she was dressed up as what? A prostitute, and he went into her and she conceived, and he left her his signet ring and his staff, and so that's how she knew that when the time was to come to show her pregnancy, she'd come and say, look, it is your child, Judah. So he's saying that he hopes the same blessings that happened to Tamar with Judah, who brought through Pharez and Zara, the twins, will happen for Boaz, because Boaz now is taking on his kinsman's wife, which was his kinsman who were who? His kinsman was Elimelech, Mahlon and Chilon, and the wife is who's who? Ruth. Ruth was the wife of Mahlon, Elimelech's son, who they all passed away. So he's taking her on to continue the family line, so to speak, because they are kinsmen, and that's how they did things in Israel. They didn't discard them. They would take on the woman, and if she was without a child, they would conceive to continue the family line. So anyway, this is verse 12, chapter 4. And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. So now Ruth, who is a Moabitess, bare a son to Boaz, who is from the tribe of Judah. So Ruth, who's not an Israelite, she's from the land of Moab, she's a Moabitess, bare a son to Boaz, who's an Israelite. Now let's see who this son is. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Most High gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Most High, which has not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, has borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto him. So Naomi was nursing the child that Ruth gave birth to. That was who? The father was Boaz. And the woman, her neighbours, gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. Now, do you know who Obed is? I'm going to tell you, it's coming. Right, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse. Do you know who Jesse is? Okay, it's coming if you don't. He is the father of Jesse, who is the father of David, who we know is who? King David. And these are the generations of Pharez. Now, do you remember who Pharez was? Pharez was who? Pharez was the son of Tamar, who was the son of Judah. Yeah? Tamar, Judah. Yeah? Pharez. So this is the line. So now we're going to show you where this line comes from. So Perez was Judah's son, born to him through Tamar, who was his son's wife, whose his sons and Onan passed away. Yeah? Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez begat Hezron. Hezron begat Ram. Ram begat Amminadab. Amminadab begat Nahshon. And Nahshon begat Salmon. And Salmon begat Boaz. And Boaz begat Obed. And Obed begat Jesse. And Jesse begat David. So his line, Boaz's line, has come all the way from who? Judah. Judah, who is what? One of Jacob's sons. Yeah? So he traces line all the way back. But yet the mother of Obed is who? A Moabite. So, if it was according to the mother, like these Jewish people keep saying, these so-called white fake Jews keep telling you that you can only be a Jew through your mum. If it was according to the mother, then Obed would be a Moabite. He'd be cancelled out completely. He'd be a Moabite as a man. Jesse would be a Moabite because his father, Obed, was a Moabite. Yeah? David would be a Moabite because his grandfather, Obed, was a Moabite. His grandmother was a Moabite who gave birth to Obed, who Obed gave birth to who Jesse came out of his lions, and out of his lions came David. It would have been totally, the line would have been destroyed at Ruth. Simple as that. It would have been destroyed at Ruth. So that totally debunks their bullshit anyway. We've got about 15 minutes less of this lesson. We're going to go to Nehemiah chapter 7. And it would make Solomon. You know? As simple as that. We're going to go to Nehemiah